This was an item asked to be placed on the agenda by Councilmember Chiaramella, so I'll turn it over to Mr. Chiaramella if he wishes to discuss this item.
I don't know that I asked to have it put on the agenda. I simply asked to have the actuarial studies done and was told by staff that it needed to come before the entire council. I also was told at the time that there might be more variability in these formulas. I'm a little disappointed that there's not a whole lot that I'm interested in on the staff report. I think that the safety formulas of 3% at 50 and 3% at 55, I think that would give us a good comparison between those, the costs of the two programs. As far as the other ones for miscellaneous formulas, I checked off 3 of those. I'm not really interested in increasing the rates to 2.7% at 55 or 3% at 60. So I think that I would look at the 2% at 55, 2.5% at 55, and 2% at 60 as options to develop some cost analysis. The 90-day shelf life, I'm not really concerned about either, because we just need to do this to find out what the cost ratios are between the two different programs. I also understand that there is a bill that's been introduced before, I believe it is the California State Legislature, to do away with the contract clause. At this point in time, I don't think that there's any necessity to go ahead with this immediately. I don't know that there's a necessity to go ahead with it at all until the contract clause is addressed, other than the fact that anything can be negotiated in good faith bargaining between the bargaining groups and management. I think that if there was an agreement that the benefits packages needed to be lowered for the preservation of the city as a whole, budget-wise, I think that would be a pretty strong incentive to moving ahead. I don't see any problem with doing the study immediately. The cost is only $1,400, but I'll leave it up to the rest of you to weigh in on this, and I assume the $1,400 would be less, being we're only going to do 5 studies, and I'll leave it to you from there.
Council?
Well, I think it's premature to go through with this at this point in time. We have a contract with our groups at this point. I think they're making sacrifices, and to throw this out as we want to go forward gives them the indication that we're bargaining in some manner, which might be interpreted negatively. So I don't see any point in going on with this expenditure, $1,400 for this particular item, until we see that it's needed in the future. I'm content with dealing with what we have and what we know now. And as time moves on, and as we begin the negotiation process with our public safety people and our miscellaneous, we can look at it, be in more real time if that's necessary. I think we've seen a great deal of cooperation from our folks that work for the city. I wouldn't want to cause a problem with that at this point in time, by indicating that, oh, we're looking at lowering your benefit package. I'm not sure legally we could lower their benefit package. If you're receiving a certain amount now, I'm not sure that legally that could be done. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure that could be done. I think you can only do that with new employees. And we might want to consider that in the future. But right now, I wouldn't be in favor of moving on with this.
I think the Vice Mayor makes raises some good and salient points. If we need to trim costs, employee costs. There's ways to do that without, going through and revamping the whole retirement formula. Plus, as Mr. Johnson said, we have a contract clause, and until that, and Mr. Chair Miller raised the same issue, until that particular clause is either changed, modified, or whatever, we really don't have a lot of options available to us. I think, as I said earlier, there's ways to reduce benefit costs, some sharing of costs, that's not uncommon in a variety of, regardless of whatever the employee classification, whether it's miscellaneous or whether it's public safety. So, yeah, it's information that I think we need to keep available to us when we get to that point where we are negotiating specific contracts with specific employee groups. Then we ought to be able to look at that. Any other comments from council?
I tend to agree. This is something to hold on to for the future. Don't, and I'm trusting on Councilmember Chiramello to keep an eye on the contract clause and see how that, whether that comes or goes. And, it's an idea that we definitely want to consider, but I'm not sure that right now is the practical time to consider it.
Okay. Ms. Campos?
Yep, just like has been stated before, it really doesn't seem like it's something that we can apply to employees we have now, and I don't think that we're at all in a place to be really hiring more employees. So if it's going to cost us money and it's something that we can bring back later, can we make a direct staff to bring this back when we're negotiating, or
Okay.
is that, I don't know if that's an option, but I know we still got to open up for public comment, so.
Did you have anything else before I ask for public